Hey, and welcome back. So what are we going to do this time? Let's see. Last time we got into orbit. Let's see if we can just pack in a whole bunch of science really quick. Let's see if we get to the next tier of research here. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got a solid fuel booster to the launch pad. Yeah, we'll take that. What else we got? We have tourists. I don't like tourists. Why? Why tourists? I don't understand these missions. Solid fuel SRB. That's the big one. At 230 to 240,000 meters. We need to test that. You know what? We could test that near empty. It shouldn't be too hard to pull something that high. We'll take that as well. Parachute, 180 meters a second to 240 meters a second at 9,000 meters to 13. Yeah, we can do that on the way back down. We'll grab that too. What else we got? Temperature surveys. Solid rocket booster at 18 to new. New. We're not doing that one. Decoupler at Kerbal. Yeah, well, you know what? We can jettison that before we even launch. So we'll take that one. What else we got? Temperature survey. Solid field, no. Taurus, Explorer Moon. We're almost here. I think we'll maybe do this in the next episode. So this episode, let's see if we can do these 4 missions all in one mission. So what we're going to try to do so we'll make a ship that at the very first we'll jettison this. We'll get our 2 science right off the top. And then we'll launch with a couple of flea boosters on the side just to grab this mission. So we'll use those to get off the ground. And then once we get up, we'll have I think we'll have a pod on top of an SRB with a decoupler, and we'll test this thing. It'll be nearly empty. We won't really use anything in it. I think maybe we'll put a little bit of fuel in it just to slow down our orbit to come back. And then we'll have this on the way back down. We should have no problem being 10,000 meters above the surface doing 180, but use some drogue chutes to slow us down to that point. So that should work. So let's go. Let's go build our ship. So right off the top, we're going to need a pod. So we'll grab a pod. I said a pod. Then we'll grab an SRB. We'll grab an engine. Oh, no, it's not that one. It's this one. Oh, no. I made a mistake. Oh, no, this could be rough. This might be a lot harder than I thought. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna pull this down here. Then we're gonna grab which parachute we need to test? We need to test the M16, which is which one? Which one is this? M16. That's this one here. Okay, so that's doable. We need to do that. We need our drogue chutes because we're definitely gonna need to slow down a lot slower than normal. So we're gonna grab 3 of these. We're going to stick them on here. We're going to have that Mark 12 parachute. We're also going to grab ourselves some thermal because we're going to be going much higher than we normally do. We don't need all this ablator though, so we're going to bring it down to about 50%. We're going to grab a decoupler. We're going to stick a decoupler on the bottom of here. This we're going to bring down to damn near nothing for fuel. And we're going to bring this. Yeah, I think that should work. So we need to get this thing from the ground. So we need to test a TR-18 stack decoupler. That's this sucker. We'll test that right on the ground. And we'll leave that at a force percent of next to nothing, just so it gets clear of the actual ship. So then we're going to throw on a couple of these. We're going to definitely need a few of these to get this thing airborne. This is a bigger booster than I thought we'd be testing. So we're going to grab that. We're going to grab a couple liquid engines, slap a few liquid engines on here. I'm not symmetrical, am I? Let's grab that. Grab this, we'll put it here in the middle. Put this on here. This is going to cost me a little more than I anticipated. So we're going to put that on here. We're going to grab some engines. We'll grab the swivel engines. We'll also grab a couple decouplers. Stack decouplers. We'll put these on here. We'll grab those fleas that we need to test. So these fleas and this central decoupler are going to fire at the same time. So after those fire, then the decouplers here are going to fire. Then we're going to fire these 4 engines at the same time that decouples. After that, we'll separate those, fire this. This will be sitting on its own because we want to test that separately. That we'll test there, and I'm not too fond of the emergency, so I'm gonna grab 2 more of these. I'm gonna throw them on here just for safety's sake. just to be on the safe side, because I'm going to be kind of launching these parachutes at the last second. No, not that one, this one here. So I'll bring that down here. So when we launch, let's see, we also need to throw a little bit of aerodynamicism in here. So we'll grab some nose cones, put the nose cones on the top of here. We'll grab some winglets in here so we have a little bit of a measure of control. So we'll stick those on there. So we're going to launch, we're going to fire these engines, we're going to hit that stack decoupler. After that stack decoupler is done, the next stage we're going to launch these 4 engines and decouple those fleas. After those fleas, we're going to decouple these 4 engines. Remove this stage. After we decouple those 4 engines, we should be high enough. Let's grab our actual mech jib. You know what? Maybe that's actually not a bad idea. Move that out of the way. Bring that down here. We're going to add one of these, maybe 2. We'll put that on there just for a little bit of safety precaution. We'll grab some batteries because those things take a lot of battery. That's you know what? Yeah, that's probably enough. We'll lift this guy up. We'll put this battery on here. Come on, work with me here. Put that battery on here. We'll throw some solar on, because these things really take an obscene amount of power. So we're going to throw a couple solar panels on, just on the off chance that I do happen to run out of power. We'll take this thing, we'll remove the monopropellant from it, because we don't need that. So we have those following, this following, we'll throw this out, we'll use those radials just in case we need them. Let's throw a mech jeb on here and see what we got for actual, that's not mech jeb, this is mech jeb. We'll throw a mech jeb on here just in case, see what our numbers are. 2,277 meters per second. You know what, let's actually take all the fuel out of that. 2,400, we'll pop this off. We'll throw a little bit more fuel on here, because I don't think that's going to be quite enough fuel. Let's fix our symmetry. And we'll grab some structural, because that's going to be a lot of power to one side. So we're just going to reinforce that a little bit. And that should be sufficient to get us up to 240 meters. It will not get, this ship will not get us to orbit, but it should get us high enough that we can test all these systems all at the same time. All right, let's go. All right. Let's see if we can get all these missions. I'm going to actually open up the actual mission tab so I can see what's going on. We'll close up MechJeb. We don't need that open. So first thing we're going to test, we're going to be testing the TR-18 stack decoupler and the flea. These should be cleared immediately on launch. So then we're going to try to get all the way up to 230,000 meters, so 230 kilometers. And if we can get there, we're laughing. All right, let's go. So those two have been cleared. We're going to use this to get us moving. Solid fleas are expiring. Launch those. Fire the primary engines. Do I have enough delta V? Yes, I do. Surface to weight thrust is going to be 1.7. Did I blow up my launch pad? No. Okay, good. Because you can actually blow up your launch pad, which would be really not a good thing. Oh no, I'm tipping over. I don't have it. I should have enough thrust. What? Oh no, my engine's not all the way up. Wow. I just did that, didn't I? Let's I may have completely botched this mission. I won't die, but I may have botched this mission. So I'm up to 2,000 meters. 2.5. I'm going to start tipping over a little bit more aggressively. Turn on caps lock for fine control. I'm going a little too fast in the lower atmosphere, so I'm going to start slowing it down a bit. When you start seeing this effect, this aerodynamic effect happening in the lower atmosphere, it starts making it very hard to control your vessel. So I'm actually going to slow down a bit, bring down my velocity just to... Now that I've cleared the lower atmosphere, I'm going to speed back up again. And I'm going to try to stay around 45 degrees, because the amount of power I'm going to need is going to be obscene. Although, looking at this now, I don't think I'm going to have enough power to get myself all the way up to 240,000 meters. I don't think that's going to happen. If I open up my actual MechJeb again and pull up my orbit info, oh no, oh no, oh no. Bring up my orbit info, it'll tell me 112. Oh, it'll be close. No, not quite enough. This is because I messed up. That's exactly what that is. So I'm going to jettison that. I'm going to jettison that. And I'm going to high-speed control this. And I'm going to see if I can at least get the actual Mark 16 parachute test. Because if I can get that, then it's not a complete bust. Okay, I'm in space. Can I do a crew report or anything? There's nothing there. EVA report? Hey, what's going on up here? Welcome to space. No, nothing here. Bored. Alright, let's speed this sucker up. And we should be entering the atmosphere here shortly. I'm going to be coming down really fast. And that's why I left more ablator on the actual vessel, because I'm going to be coming down really, really fast. See, 1500 meters per second. That's really fast. If I didn't have all this ablator, if I brought it down to 20 like I normally do, I guess I probably would have been alright with 20. Okay, so we're going to launch our drogue chutes. We're going to let those slow us down a little bit more. It looks like the drogue chutes might actually be enough to just slow me down completely. But also, I didn't go all the way up to 250 meters a second, so we'll see how this goes. Okay, those have been deployed. The next stage, I'm going to launch out my actual primary chute. These two radial chutes, these are just emergency backups, just in case I need them, but I don't think I'm going to need them, because once I deploy that main chute, I'm going to be going more than slow enough. I'll keep this on until after I primary drop off my main chute, and if I'm not going slow enough, then I'll jettison that. Okay, so this is going to bring me down to 6 meters a second. Not quite slow enough. I might take damage. So let's launch these two chutes. That brings me down to 3.5. That's more than fine. I don't need to jettison this heat shield. So we'll recover that. Okay, so I got a bit of science. I'm up to 56. I clicked too many times. So I did complete this. I completed this. I didn't actually jettison my actual parachutes at the right time. Sad face. So we're gonna go back in here. Let's see if we can find a way to actually get this actual solid rocket booster up to 200,000 meters. So we're gonna pull this off completely. So right off the top, I know that I'm gonna need a bit of actual fuel. So let's grab our decouplers. We'll grab this one. We'll throw this on the side. I don't know why I pulled the entire thing off, because I really shouldn't have. I need most of this. 3,000 meters per second. So you know what? I'm going to throw on the side of this. I can take these fleas off. I can take this off, because I don't need those anymore. Our actual solid booster can be empty. That's completely fine. Let's fix our symmetry, and we'll throw a couple SRB thumpers. So these should be enough to get us all the way up there. So we'll throw some struts on here. We'll throw a bit of aerodynamicism on here. And that should be enough to get up to 240,000 cubic meters, 430 meters. So let's fix our staging. We have these, we fire those, separate those. Then we'll separate those. Wait, what? Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, let's go. Enough of this shenanigans. Let's make this happen. So we'll ramp it up, we'll fire our engine, away we go. This time I actually sped up my actual liquid fueled engine, so I should be fine. Let's just time excel a little bit, because this should be a pretty stable ship. We'll start tipping over just a little bit. We'll turn off our time excel. Jettison our solid drive. Turn our time excel back on. We'll slow down in this part of the atmosphere. Let's open our mech jeb and take a look at our orbital info. And we'll turn our engines all the way back up to max. $240,000 meters. So we will definitely hit our actual velocity, our height that we need. So now we're just going to time accel up to that point. I'm going to keep these engines mainly because they'll let me slow down later on. Oh, I went too high, didn't I? So I'll have to do this. I'll have to do this test later on. Okay, gotta wait for this to come down just a little bit. I'm gonna fire basically a solid rocket booster that is empty, which is fine. Let's speed this up. Alright, I'm good to go. Fire that engine. Okay, that's a success. Now, I need to bring myself down to 9,000 meters to 13,000 meters at 180 meters a second. So let's hit the atmosphere. Alright, I'm hitting the atmosphere. We're going to set ourselves to retrograde. We're going to fire these engines because otherwise we're going to run out of... It's not going to work. Burn those off. Okay, so we need to get down to 13,000. Oh, and I'm going too fast. And I'm out of range. So this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to do this test. It's alright, I'll redo this test later on. I'm not going to make you guys record through this. I'm just going to launch a ship and do this test on ascent rather than on descent. So it'll be nice and simple. Alright, so let's see. We're going to get slow enough? Are we going to get slow enough? Let's jettison that just because I don't care. Alright, we're down to 3.4 meters per second. I'm not going to make you guys actually wait through this actual landing procedure, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you come by and join me. Have a good one. Fly safe.